right, so it's 6:45. I'm gonna walk around the other side and we'll get started. So hang on. All right. Good evening, everybody. So welcome to Tuesday night class. We're working our way through the energy centers of the body with our practice this quarter. So we worked on the low body, the legs and hips, and then moving up into kind of the middle area of the body. Last week we did some twist work, and then today we're ready to open the chest area, bring some more mobility into the space on the other side of the chest, the space underneath and between the shoulder blades. So we'll be working toward bridge or wheel pose. So depending what is more your speed for tonight, you can choose to do one option or the other. We'll get there toward the end of practice. So just some things to note with back bend. So we've been working all along with bringing some attention to strengthening and activating the muscles in the legs and in the core. So both of those things hold the same necessary patterning for back bends as well. And you could even argue that it's more important for back bending to really have a solid foundation so you can really move safely and deeply into your back bends. So I think then from a kind of energetics perspective or emotional perspective, when we're talking about back bends, this space is kind of the center between what is kind of embodied and then what we share out into the world. So we think of things that we are sharing out coming out of our hands and we're speaking out of our throat and our mouth, out of our eyes, being brain driven. So that's kind of the outward expression of who we are, is kind of at this intermediary. So everything else kind of very embodied and physical and sort of that internal realm, whereas then we attend to the external realm once we kind of get above this level. So for the rest of our quarter together, we'll be exploring that area. So this is kind of an interesting place to do some balancing work, some opening work, and just notice for yourself, you know, some people love back bends, some people hate back bends, some people will probably just fall in the middle. So just know that about your practice today and kind of have a feel for where you fit in that spectrum, and if there might be a reason why you really love it or you really don't love it, or you're just kind of either way. And then I will say for this practice, so we always like to pair it with a breath practice. So we're going to be concentrating our focus for our breath on the in breath, so bringing more energy into the body. It is more of an uplifting type of practice to do a back bending practice. So if you're looking to gather more energy into your body, again, a nice way to do that is through back bending. So enough talking, I will get started. So today we're going to start on our belly. So you may want to use a pillow or a block or whatever you have that just to have some distance from your head away from the floor. If you don't have anything nearby, I wouldn't worry about it. You can always stack your fists one on top of the other on the floor. And then just let your belly rest down on the floor. I know some people really hate this, so bear with me, it's not forever. And then pick up your right leg, spin it in towards center, so an internal rotation of your right leg, lay it back down, and then do the same thing on your left leg. And just notice, feel for any shift in your back especially. And then here, this is a really effective way of feeling your breath in your body. So just let your eyes close. Take a deep breath in, and then let it move out slowly, and feel your body sink. So inhale, feel your body expand 360 degrees, so toward the floor, toward the ceiling, toward the sides, and exhale, let everything drop. So relaxation with the exhale. And just go ahead and feel that several more breaths. And thinking about your inhale, giving it maybe 6 counts as you're breathing in. Maybe it's 5, maybe it's 4. So just looking for something that feels expansive. And then letting it move out naturally. And just notice as you're taking these long breaths in, if there's any sort of hitch in your breath. So if there's any opportunity, if you do notice any sort of like stopping or pausing as you continue to bring your breath in, just challenge yourself to perhaps smooth it out just a little bit. So it just gives you something to work on and be curious about. And with your next inhale, allow yourself to set an intention or dedication for your practice today. So you might think of something that you could use a little more energy around, something you want to beef up a little bit, and let that be a centering place for your practice today. And next inhale, rise your forehead, slide your hands back next to your chest. Press yourself up away from the floor. We'll come to hands and knees. You can move your pillow if you have one out of the way. And then from here, inhale, take your chest plate forward through your upper arms, squeeze your elbows back, and exhale, round your back, and maybe bring your hips back a little closer toward your heels if it's okay for your knees. Inhale, again, come forward between your upper arms, squeeze your elbows back, squeeze your inner knees toward one another, keep that. Exhale, round your back, and stretch back a little or a lot. Inhale, again, forward. Feel length from your tailbone all the way up to the crown of your head, and exhale, squeeze those knees toward one another. Let your back body round, let the air move out. And take this 2 more times. Keep that squeeze going of your knees, your thighs, your hips toward one another even. And on your next inhale, you'll start to move a little bit. So you're going to move in circles, rotating your shoulders in a wide round circle, like you're drawing a line around your wrists. So you're just making some circles with your upper body. And if you want to bring your hips into it, you can do that too. So leaning all the way back and circling your hips over your heels. And then we'll start to move the opposite direction of a rotation. So making circles the other way around. You could start big and get smaller, or you could start small and get bigger. And then from here, make your way up, and we're gonna make figure eights. So if you could imagine there was a marker hanging from your chest, like a necklace onto the floor, and you were drawing a number 8 with it on your mat. So taking some snake-like movement just to bring some range of motion into your shoulder blades and into your hips. Keep drawing those figure eights. And any breath rhythm that works for you in this posture, we'll come back to our big breath emphasis in a moment. And then start to draw your figure eights the unusual way. So you'll start to rotate the opposite direction. And then we'll make our way back to center from here. And then set your hands about mat width distance apart. Spread your fingers wide, tuck your toes under, bring your hips back toward your heels, and lift your knees a little ways away from the floor. So whatever that feels like, it should feel like a little bit of work to hold them away from the floor. Look forward to your hands and really press the heels of your hands into the floor. Spread your fingers wide. And without completely unbending your knees, lift your tailbone up a little bit higher. Then drop your heels toward the floor. Take a big breath into your back. Let your head hang heavy. Take another breath or two. And then here, walk your feet forward just a hair, maybe 1 foot length. And then take your feet as wide as your mat. Soften the bend in your knees. And then really press back your upper body toward your thighs. Again, big breath between your shoulder blades. Drop your weight into your heels. Take another big breath here. And then walk your feet together. Big toes come to touch. Still that shortened stance. And then again, soften your knees into a little bend. Drop your heels down and then send energy down into the heels of your hands. And a big breath into that space between your shoulder blades. And then move yourself back to downward dog. So feet a foot apart and a comfortable distance away from your hands. And then from here, inhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Left knee comes down to the floor. Inhale, sweep your arms up toward the ceiling. Turn your palms forward. Exhale, drop your elbows down toward your waist and let your pelvis sink toward the floor. Inhale, arms come up. And just keep your back toes tucked under. Exhale, sit low. So take some weight off of that front leg. Let the bend come back with you. Exhale, sit down deep. So take this a few more times. So we're just getting, again, some range of motion going through the front of the hip, through the tops of the shoulders, and through the shoulder blades. Another big breath in. And exhale. Take the left fingertips to the floor, right hand up toward the ceiling. Exhale, pull your navel in and press your upper hand in the direction that you are facing. Take another breath in. See if you can open through the chest. Keep that hand pressing forward. One more breath here. Exhale, look forward, fingertips to the floor. Pick your back knee up, step to the front of the mat with the left foot. Inhale, slide your hands up underneath your knees, bend your knees and chest forward. So a little bit of a back bend here. Keep your neck in neutral so the chin slightly in. Exhale, empty your belly, make room for the forward fold. Keep the knees soft. Another long inhale. Pressure with your hands into your knees press back. Next neutral. Exhale, empty your belly, fold. And next time, inhale, come partway up. Keep that firmness in your legs. Hands come to your hips, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, release your arms and inhale. Take your hands up overhead. Grab your left wrist with your right hand. Take that left arm up as high as you can. Exhale, lean over to the side. And then come forward slightly. Look toward your right toes at the floor. Big breath in around your left shoulder blade. Another big breath in. Exhale. You can drop the hands. Inhale, take your arms up. Grab your right wrist this time with your left hand. Lengthen that arm up. Exhale. Curve over toward the left and then forward slightly so you're looking down, and you should feel for some opening, some stretch around your right shoulder blade. Take another breath in around it. Let it empty out one more time. Exhale, let your arms drop. Inhale, take your arms up. And exhale, hands through heart center, fingertips find the floor. Step your right foot all the way back. Knee touches down. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, turn your palms forward. Let your elbows come down toward your hips. Sink into it. Inhale, rise back up. So a big squeeze of your thighs toward one another. We want to make sure the leg muscles are on. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sit low. So really fill up the ribs with air, like you're filling up an accordion. Last big inhale with movement. Exhale, this time, right fingertips find the floor, left arm stays extended. We'll find a twist. Right lower ribs draw in toward the inner left thigh. Inhale, really reach up through your chest plate. Exhale, press your left hand in the same direction you're facing. So you find that extra lift with your inhale. And exhale. Let your left hand find the floor. Inhale, step back. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank pose. Take your eyes forward of your fingertips to the floor. Soften your knees, soften your elbows. And then straighten your arms, straighten your legs. Exhale, lightly touch your knees down. Inhale, knees come back up. So feel your core muscle engage. Exhale, knees down. Big inhale. Lift up, press out. Exhale, this time knees come down, stay down. Squeeze your elbows back and lower your chest, then your ribs, then your belly. Scoot your knees back, tops of the feet come to the floor. Inhale, squeeze your elbows back, peel your chest up, and keep your neck in neutral. So a little bit of a squeeze of the chin down. Exhale, find the floor with your chest and chin. Walk your hands a little wider. So maybe you have a finger off the floor. Knees and feet press down. On your next inhale, peel up. Maybe you can come up a little bit higher, maybe not. So just good to inquire. Exhale, pull your navel in. Return yourself to the floor with integrity. Next inhale, fingertips down, wider, and come up. See how this back bend feels. Exhale, pull your navel in. Again, return to the floor with integrity. Hands next to your chest. Inhale, back up through hands and knees or plank. Exhale, soft knees. Come back into downward dog. Take a couple more breaths. Maybe press one heel to the floor. Opposite knee bends. Next inhale, lift your left leg in space, and exhale, step your left foot forward between your hands. Spin your right heel down to about a 45-degree angle, so your right big toe facing toward the upper right corner of your mat. Inhale, arms wide, come on up, warrior one. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen your front leg, sweep your arms back behind you, so back stroke. Exhale, sit low. So warrior one's kind of a classic prep for back bending apex pose. So really feel for that elongation, that curve that it creates from your tailbone through your low back into your mid back. Take this a couple more big sweeping breaths up and sitting low. Last one. Fingertips find the floor, step to the front of the mat with your right foot. Inhale, slide your hands up underneath your knees, press forward a little bit. Exhale, pull your belly in, let the air move out as you come forward into a forward bend. Inhale, again, come partway up. This time, drop your hips to the height of your knees. Next inhale, sweep your arms forward and up. And exhale, arms will come wide. So I'm gonna spin, you guys stay where you are. And then from here, turn your palms to the face behind you and sweep them back behind you. So you create more room through the front of your chest. Exhale, backs of the hands come together, look down toward the floor. Inhale, sweep your chest open. Exhale, backs of the hands come to touch, look down toward the floor. So you stay in your chair pose as long as you can. And you might even deepen, so you might even go lower every time you exhale. Inhale, chest opens, you feel that lift. Exhale, you get the opposite range of motion. So one more. Exhale, dive yourself down to the floor. We'll step the right foot all the way back. Oh wait, bring it forward. Step the left foot all the way back. Spin your heel down, and you want your left big toe to face toward the front of the mat. Inhale, come on up with your arms. Exhale, hands to heart center. So imagine your front knee is really pressing toward your pinky toe. I apologize, I didn't say that on the first round. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, trace the midline, sit low. So we'll take this a few rounds and really feel into that expansive quality of breath. Notice where your mind is. Does it feel present? Does it feel distant? Is it busy? Is it quiet? Just noticing. So last one, inhale, arms come up, exhale, trace the midline, hands come to frame the front foot, step back to downward facing dog. And inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, either lower knees or you can lower down through Chaturanga. So we're gonna try and land the chest before the belly, knees and feet press down. From here, bring your arms by your sides, palms face the floor, fingers in the same direction as the toes. Press the heels of your hands down, elbows bent. And inhale, chin in, gaze down past your nose at the floor. Big breath. Exhale, lift your hands. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, reach your hands back and lift your legs. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, again, lift the legs. Inhale, heart lifts, fingers reach. Exhale, legs lift, fingers stay reaching. One more big breath in. So lots of strength in the back. Exhale, hands come down to the floor, toes come down to the floor. Back up through hands and knees or plank. Back to downward facing dog and find your breath. Take some more long, easy breaths. And then next, inhale, lift your right leg in space. Exhale, bend your right knee and bring it forward, but keep it lifted. So you're in a 3-limb plank. Inhale, send that leg back up. Exhale, this time bring your knee behind your right tricep. Inhale, big breath in, extend back. Exhale, this time cross your right knee toward your left elbow. And next inhale, send it sailing back. And exhale, finally step your right foot forward. Bend your back knee a little bit to just add both stability and strength. Inhale, take your arms forward and up. And exhale, take your arms wide. And imagine you're pressing 2 walls away from you. So you're bent at the wrist. From here, if you're happy, just stay and breathe. If you want to add on, we'll do eagle arms. So we're going to take the left arm underneath the right arm, give yourself a big hug first, lift your elbows up to the height of your shoulders. And if your shoulders and arms will allow it today, wrap your lower arms around one another. Squeeze your elbows in toward one another. And inhale, really lift those elbows up. Press your palms away from you. Find your breath here. So as we turn up the heat and let this one simmer a bit, just notice. Notice how you feel. Notice how your mind feels. Notice how your breath feels. And next inhale, we're going to keep the arms, bring the back foot forward a little bit, and we'll tip forward into warrior 3 pose. So really flex the ankle joint of your left leg and keep it lifted up as high as you can. If you fall out, it's cool. You could also just bring your arms by your side into airplane pose. Let your chest lead here if you move into airplane. And then from here, we'll take fingertips to the floor, step it all the way back, maybe fly that right leg up into space. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, find your way to the floor. And then from here, bring your hands to your low back. Interlace your fingers, let your thumbs rest at your low back or your sacrum. Drop the weight of your elbows down and just feel. Feel for what your body feels like right now. And then inhale, activate your shoulders, squeeze your elbows together, send your knuckles back, and let your heart lead. Keep your chin in, gaze down past your nose. Next, inhale, see if you can lift your hands a little bit away, lift your legs. Exhale, send your knuckles toward your heels. Inhale, guide your shoulder blades together with strength. Exhale, keep that lift going. So your hands might just rest at your low back, at your tailbone. Again, notice, just notice how you feel. Mind, body, and breath. Big breath in, exhale, toes down, hands next to your chest. Inhale, press back up to your hands and knees or plank, and send yourself back to downward facing dog. Take a breath or 2. And then next inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, bend your knee and bring your knee forward into your chest. Keep pressure away from the floor. Inhale, take that leg back. Exhale, bring your left knee outside your left tricep, left upper arm. Inhale, send the leg back and up. Exhale, bring your knee to the right side, that right elbow. Really keep it lifted. Big in-breath, send it sailing back. Exhale, left foot forward between your hands. Soft bend in the back knee to create stability. Inhale, arms come wide, come all the way up. Hands to heart center. And then again, press the 2 walls away. So send your eyes to a gazing point. And if you want to take eagle arms, do it. Otherwise, you're safe and happy here. Please stay. Just keep guiding those arms up. If you're going into eagle, right arm underneath the left, give yourself a hug first. Lift your elbows. Take your forearms around one another. Squeeze your elbows together. Lift your elbows up. Press your forearms away. Sit nice and deep into your hips wherever you are. Find your breath. So what do you feel? What do you sense in your experience? How much work are you doing? How much work do you need to do to be here? To be in this posture, in this moment? Can you do less? One more big breath. Release it. And then from here, step your back foot in about a foot length. All your weight's gonna come into the left leg. And then just tip yourself forward, flex through your right ankle joint. And be here. Use it a steady place on the floor. Whatever's comfortable for your neck. So you can look out in front of you or straight down. And then if you wanna let the eagle arms go, you could, or you can keep them. And take your arms back into airplane. So really feel for that expansive, uplifting quality of your in-breath. One more deep breath in. Rise, rise, rise. Exhale. Plant your hands, step your feet back. Maybe your left leg comes up and back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, lower to the floor. And then from here, bring your arms forward, straight out in front of you. So your the pinky edge side of your hands will be on the floor. Drop your chin in and gaze down past your nose, so the neck's in neutral. And then from here, inhale, lift your legs, open your toes apart, and press through the balls of your feet if you can. Inhale, rise your arms up. Exhale, just the heels of the hands come down. You imagine that it's difficult. Inhale, rise just your arms. Exhale, lower just your arms. Inhale, light, rise up. Exhale, lower down. Take this twice more. So big, expansive breath in. Keep that squeeze of your legs, squeeze of your glutes, squeeze of your back. And as you lower, the squeeze of your obliques. So hands come down, feet come down. Take your hands underneath your forehead. So stack your hands and just let your forehead rest on top of your hand stack. And then from here, bend your knees, let your knees wag right, or your lower legs wag right to left. And again, feel into your body's embrace of breath. So can you feel that 360-degree inflation of your body with that in-breath? And then slowly bring your feet down. Slide your hands next to your chest. Inhale, press up through hands and knees. Or plank and find your way back to downward facing dog. And inhale, walk your feet forward about halfway up your mat. Inhale, slide your hands up underneath your knees, chest lifts. Exhale, fold forward. Next inhale, grab a hold of your hips, squeeze your elbows toward the ceiling, and come all the way up to standing with a nice solid back. Inhale, take your arms up next to your ears. Exhale, hands come to heart center. So walk your feet together so that your big toes are touching. And then lift your right heel away from the floor. So you feel some energy, some muscle grip around your left leg bones. And then from here, reach back for your right, the top of your right foot with your right hand. And then have your knees match. Inhale, glide your left hand forward and up next to your left ear. And then steady your gaze out at a single point. So you could look to the floor if that's most stable, or you could look straight ahead at the horizon. And we're gonna move into dancer pose. So next, inhale, send that back foot back, and exhale, just let your left hand come forward, straight out from the shoulder joint, parallel to the floor. Inhale, really kick back with your right foot. Exhale, extend with your left. So that big, rising, growing inhale. And reaching out in your exhale. Next inhale, come back up. We'll guide ourselves to side two. So right arm extends up. You'll bring your left foot, top of the foot, into your left hand. Make sure your knees feel like they're matching, they're on one plane. Again, really inhale, length through your right side, right arm. Exhale, stand steady. So you don't want to lock out your right knee. So find a gazing point at the floor, at the horizon. And then next inhale, kick back that left leg. Exhale, right hand out, straighten from your shoulder joint. Inhale, extend through your left leg. Exhale, reach out through the right. So inhale, really inflate. Exhale, extend. One more big breath. And you can let that go. I'm gonna shake everything out. And then from here, just cross your arms, one in front of the other a couple times. And then we'll take the feet wide outside the yoga mat. So you want to be parallel with your feet, so they're a little bit pigeon-toed. And then from here, bend your knees a little bit, hold your hips, and fold forward the upper body over the legs. So from here, we'll take this into a twist. So I'm going to rotate forward in case you need to look, but you can stay where you are. So have your right hand out in front of you, fingertips on the floor. Take your left arm underneath your right arm, bend your left knee, and look underneath your right upper arm. This should be a nice stretch along the inner right channel of your spinal column. Big, voluminous breath. One more big breath. Next inhale, switch sides. So replace your right hand with your left hand. Bend your right knee a little bit. Reach underneath your left upper arm with your left hand. Hold that left lower leg. And take the twist on the other side. And again, just checking in. How do you feel? So physical sensation, breath energy, the quality of your thoughts. And next inhale, come back to center. We'll heel toe the feet a little closer together. And then come back to downward facing dog from here. So just notice here in down dog, how does everything feel? And then take your knees down to the floor. And we're gonna move into dolphin pose. So dolphin pose is similar to downward dog if you're not familiar with it, only your forearms are on the floor. So you're gonna make an L shape with your hands, and you'll have your elbows no wider than shoulder width distance apart. So that's sort of the big alignment cue for this one. And then you wanna make your L shape with your thumbs and your forefingers on the floor. So when it's sort of still see that 90-degree angle. And then from here, you can walk your knees back,
big toes tuck under, or all the toes tucked under, and then lift your knees up, but keep your knees very bent. So just like we were practicing in downward dog. So upper body is gonna press way back toward the tops of your thighs. Your head should be away from the floor. And then if you want to deepen here, you can walk your feet closer in. So it just depends what your shoulders are up for. It's a good barometer for shoulder mobility at this stage. Take another big breath in here. If you want to take a break, you can bring your knees to the floor and come back to child's pose. If you want to deepen, you can walk your feet together, big toes touching, take your right leg up in space, and really send your upper body back toward your thighs, or your one thigh now. Take another big breath in, really rise that right leg up. Exhale, right foot to the floor. Inhale, left leg comes up. Again, pressure back. You're going with the lift. Another big breath in to rise up. Exhale, foot to the floor. So if you're already in child's pose, you're gonna come back to hands and knees. If you're coming down to the floor, we're gonna shimmy onto our bellies and take Sphinx pose. So a deep back bend, but a resting back bend. Your elbows and forearms can stay just where they were. Really drive your upper arm bones back into their shoulder sockets. And then feel your knees and feet on the floor. So you want to feel a sense of active muscle engagement through your glutes and through your back. So we want to safely stretch. So we find that muscle energy, and we use that to guide us into a better, healthier stretch. And one more deep breath in. Let it out. And next inhale, you can tuck your toes under, come back up through hands and knees. And we're gonna walk the knees forward toward the front of the mat, cross your shins behind you, walk your hands back, and we'll take both pose. So Navasana. So hands come behind the knees, really lift your chest, walk your feet in until your feet come off the floor. Keep that chest lifted, upper arm bones deep in their sockets, flex through your ankle joints. You might stay here. If you want to go up a notch, lift your lower legs so that they're about at a 90-ish degree angle, so straight out in front of you. And then if you want to go deeper from here, lengthen the legs and then see how it goes. So you might let go. You could also grab a hold of your big toes. Keep that active lift of your chest and find your breath wherever you are. So you might be holding on to the backs of your knees in any position of your legs. Your toes could even be on the floor. And then next exhale, we're going to come all the way down. So you can grab your knees and roll back, or you can take yourself in two directions. So adding a little bit of core challenge and trying to land your head and your heels at the same time. And then from here, we're going to get ready for our apex pose, if you will. So what we've been building to our class period today. So walk your heels in toward your sit bones and feel for the ends of your fingertips just to brush against the back of your heel. And then lift your low back a little bit, your pelvis away from the floor, and then drop it back down. So you feel like you have a neutral spine. From here, you're gonna bring your triceps, your upper arms back down to the floor and really press down. Your palms will be facing each other, forearms lifted away from the floor. So from here, press down to your feet, inhale, lift your pelvis away from the floor, and then let your forearms come down and let your hands interlace, your fingers interlace. And then roll onto your right arm, shimmy your left arm underneath you, and then shimmy your right arm underneath you. Really stretch your fingers away from you. Your wrist should be straight and not bent if possible. And then here, you're welcome just to, again, let it simmer. This could be where you stay. If you want to add on from here, really press down into your left foot, bring your right knee into your chest, and extend that right leg straight up to the ceiling. Press through your heel, toes turn to look down toward you. Lift up more through the left leg. Try the other side. So land your right foot, press down into it, left knee into your chest, extend your left leg up. Press through your heel, through your toes. Lift up a little bit higher. Exhale, bring that foot back down. And then from here, let your hands come apart. Reach your arms straight up to the ceiling, so fingertips extend up, and exhale. Slowly move your back ribs and then your pelvis down to the floor. You can let your low back be in neutral a little bit. So we'll walk the feet wide, knees fall in, so great pause position. So if bridge feels like enough challenge for you today, feel free to take another bridge. If you want to not do another bridge and you want something more restful, bring your feet together, knees wide in Supta Baddha Konasana or reclining cobbler's pose. You could also prop a pillow underneath each of your thighs if you want more support there, a more restorative version of a back bend. So really restorative for your low back, your lumbar spine. If you're interested in going into wheel, that's where we're headed. So we're going to start just like we would in bridge. So for everybody that's going to bridge, we're going to move from bridge into wheel. So you can lift your pelvis away from the floor. And then if you're going into bridge, you'll bring your hands together, fingers interlaced underneath you, shimmy your arms a little closer together underneath you. And that just gives you that more support. Keep extending, keep breathing. You're moving into wheel. You're going to bring your arms back behind you and turn your fingertips to look toward the tops of your shoulders. Squeeze your elbows together. Make sure your whole hands are on the floor. Next inhale, come onto the crown of your head. Squeeze your elbows together. Feel your feet and inhale. Press up away from the floor. Let your head hang heavy. And really press down through your feet. Press down through your hands. Feel your breath in your body. Feel for where your mind is. Feel your legs. And then to dismount, chin in toward your chest first. Try to get the shoulder blades on the floor. And then we'll bring the hands down. Take your feet wide, knees together. And then we're going to take one more round of whichever thing you like. So if you're in the reclining cobbler's pose and you want to stay, or you can come back to bridge, or you never know, maybe you want to do wheel. So if you're taking another round, you're going to move into bridge legs position. So walk your heels in, let your fingertips brush back behind your heels. And inhale, lift your hips away from the floor. Exhale, feel the support. You can take your bridge hands, fingers interlaced, arms are long, shimmy your arms underneath you, or if you're going into wheel, arms fly back, fingertips point in toward your shoulders. Squeeze your elbows together, come onto the crown of your head. Again, integrity through the arms, so squeeze your elbows, inhale, lift. Find your breath. Let your head be heavy, be courageous, really breathe. Feel your feet, squeeze your knees toward one another. Next inhale, lift your chin. Try to get your shoulder blades on the floor to dismount. And again, find your way onto your back. Knees fall in toward one another.
And just rest here for another few breaths. I'm just gonna quick turn off my big light. A little more of a mood. All right, so we're gonna take this into a twist. So if your feet are wide, knees together, let your knees drop over to the right side. Turn your left palm to face the ceiling. If it's okay for your neck today, drop your left ear toward the floor. And if you want to deepen the twist, bring your right ankle on top of your left knee. So if this feels like too much twist in your low back, just back off. And the least potent version of it would be bringing your left side to rest on top of your right side. And feel your breath. Next inhale, head rotates back to center, knees towards center, and drop your knees over to the left side. Turn your right palm up. You might bring your right arm a little closer into your body. And then again, check in with your low back. If this feels like too much, rest your right side on top of your left side. You want to deepen, bring your left ankle on top of your right knee and press your right knee toward the front end of your mat. The weight of your bones drop. Feel the energy of inhale continue to inflate, to grow. Inhale back to center with your head, with your knees. And then lift your low back and let your back body find the floor in a neutral way. Bring your knees into your chest, widen your knees apart, bring your arms inside of your thighs. Reach your hands for the balls of the feet. Inhale, extend your right leg long up into space. Exhale, drop your heel back down. Inhale, let your left leg extend, open into space. Exhale, bring it back down. And next inhale, let both legs open up, but let your arms be extra heavy. So the weight of your shoulders, weight of your elbows, outweighing that pressure of your legs up. And breathe into your back, breathe into the floor. And next inhale, bring your knees together, give yourself one last hug, and we're gonna find a way into a resting position. So if your back is talking to you at all, I recommend taking that resting pose that we were working with during the bridge wheel sequence. So your feet will be hip width, wider than hip width distance apart, and knees falling in toward one another. You could rest, another nice way to rest if you have a chair nearby would be to just take your feet onto the seat of the chair. So kind of like legs up the wall. Another option, if you have a pillow or a cushion nearby, you could place that underneath your knees or your thighs. Great way to just take it easy where you can just have your legs outstretched. And then arms outstretched today. So you can shimmy your shoulders a little more flatly underneath your back, palms face up. And then eyes can be closed if you're comfortable with that, or you can leave your eyes open with a really soft gaze at a single point on the ceiling. And we're going to count backwards, starting from the number 12 with each breath. So
Take a big inhale and exhale. Assign that breath number 12. Next exhale. Assign that number 11. Next exhale, assign that the number 10. And continue to count backwards on your breath all the way to 0. And feel with each subsequent breath, your body can relax. Allow your mind to release tension. Feel your jaw unhinge. Allow your teeth to slightly part, lips slightly part. Feel your eyes heavy in their sockets. Your forehead and brows open and broad. Sense your throat open, your neck muscles soft. Shoulders, arms, chest, ribs open and relaxed. Your belly soft. Pelvis and legs heavy. And once you've reached 0, allow any last effort for your breath practice to go. And feel yourself drop. Sense the space at the center of your chest. And feel for any sensation there. Maybe it's a slight pulsation of energy, or the beating of your heart. Imagine with each inhale, each quiet breath, that sensation filled with a golden light. And as your connection to pulsation or beating of your heart continues to deepen, sense that light continue to brighten. And feel it lighting up your rib cage. Feel it move down into your abdomen. Imagine it spreading into your legs and feet. Imagine it shining up and out into your arms and hands. And up through your throat, into your head. Feel your whole body lightened, brightened. And rest into that brightness. Rest into that light.
Let's draw a slow breath back in. And move out slowly. And then in any way that feels natural to you, bring some movement back into your fingers and your toes. Gather your knees in closer to your upper body. Roll to one side and then make your way back up into an upright spine. And from this upright spine, you could rest your eyes out in front of you, or you could close your eyes. And then inhale, reach your arms into space. Rise them up overhead. Let your palms find one another in space, and exhale, hands to heart center. Drop your chin in and extend gratitude toward yourself for making time in your day and in your week to practice. Thank you for giving this gift to yourself. And may our practice help keep us more centered. Centered within, centered without, and on the road for whatever life holds for us. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste. So thanks everybody. Have a wonderful week. Hope to see you next week.